Due to poor wire, that's ridiculous. All right. Well, we're live now anyway. Sort of. Man, that's a hell of a shadow. I'm so sorry. Anyway, hey, how's it going? My name's Tom Leveen, and I am an award-winning author with 9 published novels out with imprints of Random House, Simon & Schuster, and several others. Although, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not 9 yet. It's going to be 9 on February 20th. So now it's actually technically 8. So 8, but soon to be 9. Hello and welcome to my office. This is where I do most of my composing and business stuff and all that kind of stuff, but we'll talk about that later. Thanks for showing up, sticking around, taking a look, doing whatever it is that you do. I'm kind of using it's basically a mic stand to hold my camera right now, so I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll just have to see. Couple things I want to talk about. First of all, notice I'm wearing a hoodie, right? Ooh, and you know why I'm wearing a hoodie? Because it's so cold here in Phoenix. Yeah, it's like, I swear to God, I just went outside and I think it was probably high 70s, maybe possibly even 80. I don't know. It's probably not 80, but it feels like it, and it's ridiculous. So I'm all like, oh look, we seriously, we wear hoodies. There's two reasons that people in Arizona, or in Phoenix anyway, wear hoodies. Number one, we wear them in the summertime when we go to the movies or the mall or something because it's freezing. It's freezing inside these places in July and August, so we have to bring a little wrap because it gets so cold in there from the air conditioning. The other time we wear them is like December, January, February, when we're pretending like it's not 80 freaking degrees out in the beginning of January. It's awful. It's just so warm, and I'm so sorry for the rest of the nation that is like apparently covered in ice right now. We're not. It's nice and warm, and we all wear sandals. That's really kind of sad. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. So I have a question actually for you guys, and I would love to get your input on it. And I'm probably just going to make myself giggle a lot tonight. I can't help it. This lighting is terrible. All right. For next time, better lighting. Anyway, I'm hoping to do this every week, actually, because I like to hear myself talk, and I'd be doing it anyway, so what the hell, I may as well put it on Facebook, right? But I had this question, I had this theory. I get to do a lot of public speaking. I've done some keynotes and presentations. I do a lot of teaching, book talks, stuff like that. When I'm not doing book writing type stuff, I'm doing early literacy education for little kids, 0 to 5, and so I get to do story time, and I get to sing Rocket Ship Run, and it's really cool, and I get to read Pete the Cat. If you haven't read Pete the Cat, you should. It's really good, and that's really cool, and I love doing all those things. It's my theater background. I never want to be in another play as long as I live. I can't even fathom being in a show, because the last time I was in a play, I was on stage with one of my good friends, Michael Peck, and we were doing a scene together, and it was a great show. It was a really fun show. It was a Stray Cat Theater. And it's just the two of us on stage, and we're going back and forth, and I'm looking at him, and while he's saying his line, I'm like listening, and then I say my line, and while I'm talking, I'm going, I don't know if that's the right line. I don't know if this is the right scene. I have no idea what's happening right now. And the way Michael's looking at me is the way his character is supposed to react, which is like, he's like shocked, so I can't even tell if he's looking at me like, dude, you are totally not paying attention, or if he's just acting. We get off stage, I'm like, Michael, was that the right scene? And he goes, yeah? Like, okay, thanks, never mind. And from that moment, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never going to act on stage again. Anyway, the reason I tell you that is because, so I don't want to be on stage again anytime soon, but I really do like doing the presentations and the talks and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things that if you don't hang out with me on a regular basis, you might not know about me. Thanks, I won't, Joy, thank you. One of the things you might not know about me is I love to swear. I do. Ever since like 8th grade, once I started learning F-bombs, like I just, boom, mother, I just love it. It's just how I communicate. I just can't shove enough F words into my day. It's just a thing. I just do. It's how I communicate. But, believe it or not, I don't do that at the library. I don't do that during story time. Now, I've talked with some of my story time friends, and we've talked about, like, well, maybe we should do, like, an adult story time where it's like, Pete the motherfucking cat, you know? That would be cool. But most of the time, I try not to. I can't do it at home as much as I used to because I got kids, and I try not to cuss in front of them. It's really hard. I've already done it, like, 3 times tonight, but I try not to. I try hard not to. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad. And Danny, too. Wow, nice. I'm surprised. A little shocking. But so I try not to. I totally try not to. And if I'm invited to do guest speaking, keynote presentation, teaching, anything like that, of course I'm just not gonna swear. I'm just not, because it's not my house, right? It's not my house. It's not appropriate for me to do that. But what if I was doing a presentation or a talk or a lecture or something like that that was really me? Like if it was something that I set up and something that I wanted to do and something that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted it to be as authentic as I could possibly be, then shouldn't I be as much of myself as possible? I'm not really sure. Like, and I'm going to swear right now. I'm just giving you fair warning. If Diane's out there, she's not. But let's just pretend my mother-in-law's watching. I'm going to drop F-bombs right now. Let's just pretend I was going to do, let's just pretend I was going to do a public lecture or talk called Fuck Depression in the Face. Like, see, it makes me giggle. I think that would be a great topic, and I would love to talk about that. And part of me is like, dude, no, you can't call a talk, like a public talk, something like that, because you're going to alienate the audience. You're going to lose ticket sales. People aren't going to come. But then another part of me is like, or the exact people who want and need to hear a talk called Fuck Depression in the Face are going to show up, and that's more important. Like, it's more important to have the 10 people who really want and need to hear a talk about that to show up than the, like, 30 people who are like, I'm going to see a Tom, I'm just going to go watch Tom. Like, no. If I'm going to do any kind of talk or presentation or lecture, whatever you want to call it, that's as authentically me as possible, then I want to call it something that is meaningful. And once I get up there and start talking, then I want to start talking the way I can talk without doing that little self-censor thing that I just did, because it's how I communicate, and I think I'm fairly good at it. Now, as an actor, I generally, despite that that I just threw in there, I generally have pretty good control over what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. If I don't want to say I'm pretty good at keeping that back. If I don't want to drop F-bombs, I can certainly keep that back. But if it's me, if it's going to be authentically me, then I want to just say stuff. You know what I'm saying? So tell me what you... Thank you, Danny and Chris. I love you guys so much. Yeah, so let me know what you think on that topic. Like, is that something, I don't know, it's something I want to do. I've got, I'm not going to show it to you, but I've got my big whiteboard over here, and it is literally 4 columns of small print of things that I want to do in the next, like, 3 years, and one of them is to do more speaking engagements, more, like, public speaking and stuff like that. I don't want to call it motivational speaking, because that has kind of a greasy ick kind of feeling to it, but more just like talking about stuff and like real stuff and stuff that I would hope would be helpful to people. So something to think about, and just let me know in the comments if you think I should swear or not, and if so, if there's a limit. Like, how many like, is this an R-rated? Can you get an X rating just from language alone? I have no idea. I should look that up. No idea. What else? Oh, so completely different topic. Doing this Facebook Live thing reminded me of something this evening. Right out of high school, I had the immense privilege of being on television for about a year. Well, television in quotes. It was actually public access, and if any of you are, thank you, Joy. If you are older than 20, at least 20, you might have remembered public access. If you've ever seen Wayne's World on Saturday Night Live, or the movies Wayne's World, which again goes back, oh God, I don't even know how many years now. Anyway, that was public access. And what public access used to be was that cable channels were required, if I'm not mistaken, required by law to have channels that were available to the public, hence the term public access. And so my friend Greg and I were co-hosts of a show called Argyle Socks, and back then, there were only 3 entertainment shows on public access here in Phoenix. Greg was on 2 of them, and then there was some other guy. And Argyle Socks was the other one. And we had a ball. We had so much fun. We would interview people, and we would just wander around town. We would skate and do, every once in a while, we would do written sketches, but not too often. Excuse me. Oh, there it is, pizza. But it was a lot of fun, and in retrospect, thinking back on it and looking at where technology is now, and like allowing me to just do this in my room on my phone to however many people want to watch it, whether live or recorded, and thinking about it, like, man, if my friends and I had been born 20 years ago instead of some other amount of years ago, we would be internet stars. Like, I think we were that group of guys who would have gone somewhere. Because when we did Argyle Socks, dude, we got letters, like you would, like actual handwritten letters, because that's all we had at the time. We didn't have email even when we were doing the show. That's how old I am, you damn kids. We got letters, and we were like this crazily popular public access show, and it was ridiculous. The whole show was ridiculous. I'll try to post some of it on YouTube here at some point. But yeah, if we had been born later than we were, like, I think we would be internet stars. We totally could have made this happen. Or we would have killed each other. I don't know which. Like, it was hard enough getting along with each other, just in person and over the phone, let alone all the various social media stuff that people have to navigate now. Like, I'm so glad I'm as old as I am when social media showed up, because I would have gone insane. I'd go insane anyway, but it would have gone so much more insane if I would have had this stuff as a teenager. And I as a YA author, man, trying to understand what teens and preteens are going through on social media just boggles my mind. I have no idea how you guys navigate it. I don't know how I'm going to help my kids navigate it. It's insane. We would have been okay. We would have made a great TV show. But yeah, 31 years ago, oh my gosh. And then, oh, hey, Kelly. Argyle Socks was great, wasn't it? It was so much fun. Anyway, I was just thinking about that and how much fun that was, but then also feeling kind of like scared for teenagers today. Like the stuff, like one of the most kind of simple ways to look at it, I guess, is if you are the kid who's getting picked on. Like when I was in school, and I got picked on in school, for sure. And I've got a whole separate talk about that. But like if you're the kid who gets picked on, then that sucks, and you go to school and you get picked on all day from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., but then you got home and you didn't have to worry about it, and you had TV and books and things like that, and you had Sega Genesis or Nintendo or whatever. You had these things that could kind of take you out of that. Now, they can get you 24/7, and that's, how do you even do that, man? How do you deal with that? And the other thing that bothers me about that is the grown-ups, because grown-ups bother me a lot. But the grown-ups are like, well, just put your phone away, or just don't sign in. You just give it up. Just don't do it. Oh, okay, smartass, put your phone away for 24 hours. Give it a shot. Well, Mustang, way to go. No. You can't do that. You can't ask the kids to do something you are not yourself willing to do. That's not really fair. And I know nobody here has experienced drama on like Facebook or any other social media, but sorry, Richard, I was just reading your comment. At one point, you told me never to mention it again. Never, oh, I don't even know. Should I ask you? Never mention what again? I'm afraid. I shouldn't ask you to clarify. Anyway, I just don't know how you guys, how we are expecting kids to navigate it. And it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I don't know how you guys do it. So be safe out there. That's my takeaway. And the last thing on my list, and if you guys have, I'm trying to keep up with some of the, oh, that's good. Oh, damn, okay, yeah. I will come back and read these. If you have questions, by the way, go ahead and post them. I will try to keep up on them. I'm seeing things pop up on the screen, but I'm so enamored of my own voice. I'm not seeing everything. This is what it's like to be in my house when I'm writing. I just wander around talking out loud, and the dog's just like, what are you doing, dude? Resolutions, that was the other thing. My wife suggested I talk about resolutions a little bit tonight since we're, New Year and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. Oh, I did? Really? I'm sorry, Rich. I probably meant it at the time when I told you to. Well, you can mention it now. Feel free to mention it, Richard. It's okay, since I just did it. Resolutions. Okay, here's the thing about resolutions. I don't make them. I have made them in the past, but I don't make them anymore. My view on resolutions is like, the universe has been tooling around for a couple trillion years now without us having calendars. It doesn't care that it was January 1st, 2018. It really doesn't. To me, I wake up, it's just another day. The baby's still got to get fed, we still got to feed the dog, we still got to get, clean the house or whatever. It's just another day to me. But we do, as human beings, and culturally speaking, we do attach a lot to calendars, and I totally get that. I totally get that. And I don't want to tell you to not make a resolution. If resolutions work for you, then absolutely do it. What has worked for me the last couple years, maybe, not consistently, but some things that have definitely improved in my life since I started looking at it this way, is just to decide. You know, it's more of just the decision. Like I just actually quit smoking and dipping 6 years ago. Toby's 6, so about 6 years ago. And I tried everything, dude. I tried hypnosis. I did all the different pills. I did all the books and the exercise. Like I did everything there is to do, and none of it ever worked. And on the one hand, it might be easy to say, well, your son was born and that gave you the motivation. And like, no, but I really loved it. I really, really loved it. And so much of my social network from 8th grade till 6 years ago was smoking or having a dip, like going outside on the porch with the guys, having a cigarette and just talking for 5 hours. That was what we did, and we don't do that anymore. And part of me still misses it. I mean, the addiction part is still in there, and I still think about it, and I still want it from time to time. Not every day, not even every week, but it's still there. It's in there. But I can't say that like just the sheer fact of having a kid, like that was the motivation. Like that certainly put it into my head, like, dude, you got to get a hold of this. Like, I don't want him to see me doing it. I don't want him to start doing it. It's expensive. It's gross. It's, you know, health. I want to live longer, blah, blah, you know, all that kind of stuff. But none of that is what did it. What did it was just the decision that one day to be like, I'm done. I'm done. You're not the boss anymore. That's it. That's just it. Now, I'm sure some of you have faced this either yourself or with people you care about. Thank you, Mary, for clarifying. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Aren't you glad I don't do it anymore? So we face this and we talk about, well, it happens when you hit your bottom, right? You just hit bottom and then you can't do it anymore. But you and I both know, probably from intimate experience one way or another, that there are people, sometimes ourselves, who hit bottom and just keep on digging, right? So I don't even know that hitting bottom is enough. For me, it was just that question of, or just a matter of saying, you know what? No more. Just today. In fact, it's not even going to be today. It's going to be this second, right now. Start. Okay, good. 1 second. There's one more second. I didn't light a cigarette. Okay, one more. Just give me 1 more second. Awesome. 1 more second. I didn't put a dip in. Great. And you just build these seconds, one on top of the other, on top of the other. It's not about, for me, and this is just opinion, just my opinion. It's not about willpower even, because willpower sounds like then it's on you. I'm not saying this very well. Because I think when we try to say, when we use that word willpower, when it doesn't take, when the thing we're trying to accomplish doesn't work, then it's far too easy, especially for someone like me and a lot of other creative people. If you're already predisposed to low self-esteem, if you're already predisposed to depression and things like that, it's really easy to take a word like willpower and say, I didn't have the willpower to do it, ergo I suck. This is on me, this is my fault. And that doesn't help at all. That doesn't help you get closer to whatever it was you were resolving to do. So again, if resolutions are something that help you, then awesome. I would never tell anybody to not do something that's working. For me, what has worked, both kind of as in terms of career, in terms of art, in terms of health, in terms of what I want to do with my life and with my family and with everything that I do, it was really just a question of deciding and saying, you know what, today I'm going to do this little piece right here. I'm going to take this little step. I've got some hopefully, God willing, I've got some cool stuff coming up. I'm going to be working on some comic book stuff pretty soon. That's going to be cool. Again, the next book comes out on May. What did I say? I didn't say 30th, did I? May 20th. May? Why am I saying May? February. Good Lord. It's time for bed. February 20th is the next book, so that's cool. And then, what? Oh my gosh. Oh, a middle grade book, which some of you on my sort of special group have already seen the first generation cover for that. I'm working on that. I've got some really cool things and some really cool, I hope, are going to be some really cool ideas and things coming up. And today I got to work on some of them after I got home from work, and that was cool. And it was like for an hour before I had to go pick up my son. Okay, well then for that hour, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take that next little step. So my hope and wish for all of you, wherever you're at, whatever it is you're doing, whatever your resolutions would have been or currently are, my hope for you is that you can just relax, give yourself a little room, a little latitude, and just say, you know what, today I'm gonna attack this one thing, whatever this one thing is today, or even maybe not today, maybe this hour or this minute or this second. Maybe it's this second I'm not going to eat that chocolate, or this second I'm not going to light that cigarette or have that drink or whatever it is. Or maybe this second I'm going to write another sentence in my book, or I'm going to do my charcoal drawings or my macrame or whatever it is. I don't know. Just take it. It's those little moments. And I think on that note, I will close with this. I was thinking about it in the car today, and I'm pretty sure I'll have to ask Joy to clarify this for me. But I think this is January, beginning of January now, which means the last couple of months have been pretty good for me in the mental health arena, and that's a different for me. That's a change. I may have broken some records this last couple of months. I'm not sure, but things have been going pretty good upstairs, and I'm very happy to report that. I'm very happy to feel. Oh yes, good job, Mary. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna swear again, Mary. Fuck reviews. Fuck reviews. Fuck reviews. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. Yeah, don't. Oh my God, we'll talk about that next week. Let's talk about reviewers next week, Mary. You wanna? Yeah, let's do that. I have stories. Anyway, so it's been a good couple of months, and it doesn't feel like a cycle right now, which is good. And I think the reason for that is I finally found, after many, many years of searching, I finally found the right group and the right doctor and the right set of circumstances to learn how to do this whole mindfulness thing. 'Cause that's really what it is. It's just mindfulness. It's this Zen-like thing of I'm just taking this moment as it is and not worrying about the next moment after that. That's all it is. And the thing that's hit me about mindfulness and about taking that approach to everything as much as possible in life, and I'm not good at it, I'm not exceptionally skilled at it, but I'm better than I was 2 months ago. The thing about that mindset, that one moment at a time mindset, is how prevalent it is in successful people, however you want to qualify success. For example, I've learned that this is something that Navy SEALs use. Like, this is something that they learn, and now when they get out are teaching other people of, like, this is the thing, this is your job right now. And I cannot tell you how many times in my car I have gotten from point A to point B without sheer outrage, by simply saying, my job right now is to get from my driveway to the end of the street. That's it. I can always stop there and turn around if I have to. Right now, I'm just getting to the end of my street. And if I get that far, that's like, cool, got to the end of my street. My mission right now, my mission in life is to make it to the next stoplight. That's it, man. It's just breaking these things down. I don't do that like all day, every day, but it's there when I need it, to settle down, to calm down, to redirect, to do whatever, and to just accomplish that next thing that I want to accomplish. And a lot of what I want to accomplish is not being angry and not being sad. And for me, my particular brand of depression, those two things are pretty much hand in hand, which took 30 years for someone to finally teach me that, but I got it, so that's good. Thank you. So yeah, I think those were kind of some of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, and I've talked about all of them. Again, I'm going to be trying this pretty much every week. I think probably 8 o'clock on Wednesday seems to be a good time. I know everybody's watching X-Files, but that's okay. And the thing about these Facebook Lives, as they are called, I guess, is that I want to be as authentic with you guys as I possibly can. And if that means swearing, then so fucking be it. Because it's a lot easier. It's just so much easier to be honest and authentic and yourself. And this is basically what you see is what you get, I think. I certainly hope so. So that's my plan. I don't know. So next week, mark your calendar, because Mary and I are going to talk about reviews and reviewers. Here's a tip. If you're a writer, don't go to Goodreads. Just don't. I have not been to Goodreads in a couple of years now, because Goodreads is one of the many things that made me end up curled up on the floor in a ball, and I just won't do it to myself anymore. It's just not worth it. As a matter of fact, I know reviews are coming out for my next book, Mercy Rule, which I should talk to you about. This is going to be backwards, but there it is, Mercy Rule. February 20th. The first reviews for Mercy Rule are coming out, and I don't know what they say, because I emailed my editors and said, do not send me reviews. And they're like, nothing. I don't care if I get a starred review. I don't care if it's a best. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Back in my theater days, my friend Matt, who I worked with for most of our lives together on theater, we were talking about the reviews, and I got good reviews and bad reviews in theater, to be sure. and we got this one review for a play that he was in. I was so excited. I was going to show it to him. He's like, no, I don't want to see it. I'm like, dude, but it's good. And he's like, no, stop. I don't want to read it. I'm like, why don't you want to read it, Matt? And he goes, because if it's great, then I get a big head. And if it sucks, I feel like shit. So I don't want to see it. And I was like, wow, that's really a good way to look at reviews. I'm going to go read it now, but okay. So reviews have been a journey, to be sure. So Mary, we'll see you next week for sure, and we will talk about reviews. Oh, Holly, hi Holly. Holly wants to know, when can we pre-order the next book? You can pre-order the next book now, absolutely. And I'm going to do some more talks about this on my group and also this particular page. But I'll just go ahead and since Holly brought it up, thank you. Is it Kepri? Kepri, is that right? Am I saying that correctly? Kepri. That's how I want to say it. So if that's not right, Kepri, please correct me. Anyway, we'll be talking about it more as we get closer to launch date, but the absolute number one thing you can do if you want to help me is to pre-order from a brick and mortar independent bookstore. That's the number one thing you can do. The number two thing is pre-order at Barnes & Noble. Also very, very good. Great. The number three thing you can do is pre-order on Amazon. But in order, in terms of what helps authors, and not just me, any author that you enjoy, pre-order from an independent bookstore, pre-order from a Barnes & Noble, pre-order from Amazon, in those three, in that order. And it has to do with how bestsellers get counted and all this. I'm still learning about how the bestseller lists work. Here's an inside tip. There's no such thing as a bestseller list. Did you guys know that? The New York Times bestseller list is what they term an editorial service. It's an editorial service they provide. There actually is no one list out there that says this book sold X amount of copies across the world or across the country or anything like that. It doesn't exist. New York Times doesn't even do that. They cover maybe 80%. So even they're not 100%. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Capre, is that right? Capre. It was good. It was nice to meet you, by the way, Capre. Thank you so much for all the stuff you've been sending on Twitter. I really appreciate it. It's people like you make this whole thing a lot easier. All of you guys make this so much better and so much easier for when the dark days come, and come they do. Anyhow, so yeah, let me know if I pronounced that correctly. Capre. That's a cool name, by the way. I'm gonna totally steal that and put that in a book. I hope that's okay. Dibs. I call dibs on Capre. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Oh, wait, that's Holly saying, can you name some independent sellers? Changing Hands is so... Oh, well, Holly, there are two changing hands now. There's one in Tempe and in Phoenix. So you should be close to one of them. If you're more of a Scottsdale, Poison Pen is really good. Yes, Capre. Awesome. So Poison Pen, Changing Hands. I think there's probably... I'm sure there are some others that I'm not aware of, but those two, and you can also order and have them shipped, I'm sure, although that might be expensive. So, I mean, fundamentally, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Do what's best for you. But definitely the independent bookstore is the way to go. So, but yeah, there's two. You've got to be close to either Tempe or Phoenix, for crying out loud. Any independents in the West Valley, Richard? There have to be. Oh crap! I'm gonna have to look up. There used to be one, and I want to say it had a coyote in the name. I'm forgetting it. There's some kind of dog-eared pages. Try dog-eared pages. They might, Changing Hands ships. Thank you. Try dog-eared pages. They might, I think they're in the West Valley, and I think they're still open. Check that out. I don't know if they have accounts with the publishers or not, because some used bookstores, like so interesting, I don't know if you guys know this, but like at oh my gosh, I'll just be here for a second. I go there all the time. What the hell? What's the damn bookstore? Bookman's. Jesus. Bookman's, for example, which is a fantastic chain of stores, used bookstores, doesn't have accounts with publishers, so you can't get new books from Bookman's unless it's something someone has turned in and they're reselling it, which is why they don't do very many author events. So those don't help, and I don't know if dog-eared pages fits into that category or if they're more independent, like Changing Hands, Poison Pen. I'm not sure. But I will be doing at least 2 events for that book. I'll be doing one at Changing Hands Tempe on the 20th, and then another one at Poison Pen in Scottsdale on March 3rd, I believe, which should be a Saturday, and that'll be in the afternoon. And since we're here and we're talking about it, what I really want to do, since you guys are my my very dear friends for sticking around with me for this long. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now my goals for this book is, oh my gosh, I would love to sell 1,000 copies of this book by opening week, by the end of opening week. That's not going to be easy. I don't know if I've ever done that before, but I'd really, really like to do it. Pre-orders play a big part of that. The other thing I want to do is I want to have at least 100 people at my Changing Hands event and 50 at Poison Pen, and I break that up only because Changing Hands has a bigger space than Poison Pen. If we want to do 100 at Poison Pen, that's cool. That's totally fine. We can do both. But those are my goals. That's really, honest to God, that is shooting for the stars. It really is. But I'm going to give it a shot because I'm just taking it at this moment, right? We're just doing, one moment at a time. But I think we can do it. And again, thank you all so much just for tuning in, for sticking with me on Facebook, on the website, signing up for the mailing list, all that kind of good stuff. It's finally just sinking in that this is where I want to be. This is what I want. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And I want to write good stories for you guys that hopefully will make a bit of a difference. That's why I do it. I mean, yeah, that's the main thing. So I'm actually tired of hearing myself talk, and I should go to bed because I've been sleeping like ass lately because my kids won't go to sleep. maybe Sarah will stay asleep tonight. Here's hoping. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm going to do my big sign-off. Are you ready? Let me make sure I get this right. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And I will see you guys same time next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Take care. And here we go, off the mic stand. And, oh, okay, Jason Carney gets an extra minute. What do you want, Jason Carney? Go ahead. Say something. I'm just waiting to see what Jason Carney has to say. Go ahead. What do you got? I think I should just shut you off, Jason Carney, because they never get to do that in real life. And I also don't know how long it's going to take for what you say to show up. So, sorry, man. You're going to have to text me. I love you, Jason Carney. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I hate you, Jason Carney. That's right. Hate you, Jason Carney. Take care, you guys. I love you. See you later.